Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from Comfortable East 2670 from the What Do I Do subreddit and says, I'm seriously reconsidering my relationship with my girlfriend because of a test. It starts, not really sure what exactly the correct formatting would be here on Reddit, but I need to get this out somewhere, so I figured this is a decent option. To serve as some context, I've been dating my girlfriend for almost a year now, and our relationship has been great aside from this. We've always had a very strong bond, or at least I thought so. Now for why I'm seriously thinking about breaking up with her. Last night she sent me a text message, which I'll spare all of the details, but it was essentially her saying that she had been cheating on me for half of our relationship, but that she still loved me and didn't want to end things because of what she claimed to be a mistake. It took me a few hours to respond, mostly because I was just absolutely shocked by what she had sent me. I'd never even once considered her to be unfaithful in any way. She had always been loyal. After a few hours, I ended up calling her. On that call, she told me that the entire message was a test or a prank. She said that she wanted to see whether or not I'd still love her, even if I thought she had cheated on me. I just think that's absolutely crazy to do to someone you claim you care about. I spent hours stressed out of my mind. I've never been too happy about people testing their relationships. I just think that it's stupid and that it breaks trust. Now that she's done this to me, I don't know what I want to do. Sure, we've had a great relationship aside from this, but I think that what she did is kind of ridiculous. Am I overreacting for genuinely reconsidering my entire relationship because of a test? I was at the end of that one scratching my head. I was like, what was she testing here? The test makes zero sense. She was literally testing if you'd stay with a cheater. That's not testing love. That's testing if you have some self-respect. It's so backwards. So either there's massive insecurity here, or she's trying to manipulate you to see how far, she can push you here, or she just didn't think this through at all, which in the end, none of those are good. Imagine deciding to put someone that you're meant to love, that you're meant to care for, hours of real pain just to see what they would do, just to see what would happen. For me, that's definitely a walk away situation, 100%. A commenter said to OP, I think she's already cheated and didn't get the response she wanted, so now she's pretending it was a test. Either way, trust is broken, break up with her. Lord says, not overreacting, she wants to know if you will break up, when she will cheat on you. She's thinking about it because she already had someone in mind. She doesn't love you. You can choose to leave now or be cheated on later. Your call. Unable says, low-key, that would be desensitizing you to abuse. You should explain to her when you leave her and wish her well and hope that she takes that situation as a learning lesson. Blinding someone with something like this because they're essentially bored is just probably not someone you want to be with. English law says you don't want to be in a committed relationship with this person. This behavior is a massive red flag. Firstly, she's dishonest. It wasn't a prank. It was a lie to see your reaction. That's manipulative. Secondly, where do her morals lie if she wants to be with someone who would overlook infidelity and betrayal? Those things are obviously within her moral compass, and it seems like she has no intention of remaining faithful but wants to gauge your limitations. Get rid. And finally, a commenter asks, how old are you? This is some immature stuff. Opie says, I'm 19 and she's 20. I really do think that what she did was really immature and genuinely pretty stupid. But I'm still pretty torn because of the fact that she doesn't usually pull stuff like this. Bloody hell, that word usually jumped out to me just there, but OP did come back in with an update and said, I want to thank the people who commented on my last post for helping me understand just how wrong what my now ex-girlfriend did was, and for also bringing another thing to my attention. A lot of people who commented said that she was likely cheating, even though she claimed the message was just a prank. You guys were right. After seeing people's advice and opinions on my situation in my last post, I decided to look into things more. I went ahead and texted my friend, who was the boyfriend of one of my now ex-girlfriend's close friends, and asked if he had heard anything about my ex-girlfriend cheating on me. He hadn't heard anything, but he ended up asking his girlfriend and finding out that my ex-girlfriend was seeing another guy on occasion, and by occasion, that apparently meant at least once every couple of weeks. He looked into it further for me and let me know that his girlfriend told him that it had been going on for almost half of my ex-girlfriend and I's entire relationship. After I found this out, I pretty much immediately called her on the phone to try and confront her in some way. I was pretty upset because before she pulled that prank, I had never even suspected a thing because she was always such a great and supportive girlfriend. When I called her, I told her that I found out and that she had genuinely been cheating on me and that we were done, and she instantly hung up. I have not heard anything from her since I called her earlier today, but it's safe to say that I'm done with her and her games. Gonna toss the junk that she has at the apartment in the trash sometime within the next couple of days if she doesn't try to get them back. Thank you guys for helping me see what she was doing. Commenter says, I'm really sorry you're going through this, OP. I hate to bring this up, but you should really get into the clinic for a full STD panel. Do it before you start your next relationship to ensure you're okay. Take care of yourself, OP. You sound like a really good guy and you'll find your true partner who will never do this to you. Commenter says, I'm really sorry you're going through this. It sounds like you gave your all in the relationship and believed someone who turned out to be dishonest. And that's not on you. What you found out makes it totally understandable why you're done with it. Damn, that absolutely sucks for OP, but good advice in the comments there about the full STD panel and all that sort of stuff. But at least OP knows now, which is the silver lining in all this, not being dragged along any further. Part of me was wondering if the other partner knows about the situation here, or is he as much in the dark and a victim of her at the same time? I know OP's, in a pretty shitty place at the moment, but I wonder it would be possible to just give this other guy a heads up if he knows the identity of him. But again, I know that's easy for me to say, right? But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now, our next story comes from Throwaway Bad Vows from the Relationship Advice subreddit. It says, I-35 male was caught using AI to write wedding vows and partner 34 female walked out. What to do? I-35 male recently had a wedding with my partner 34 female. We've had a stable and happy relationship so far, and I love her more than anything in the world. The problem arose when it came to writing vows. Don't get me wrong, I love many things about my partner, but I couldn't figure out how to put them into tangible vows. I decided to use ChatGPT so I can have something well written and expressive to share at the ceremony. The thing about my partner is that she's very confrontational and no nonsense. If something annoys her, she immediately addresses it with no room for backing out. I also know that she's expressed disdain for AI in the past, but I didn't realize how far the hatred could go. I don't know how, but she immediately recognized that the vows were AI. After I had finished, she had this angry look and whispered to me, "Did you use fucking AI to write that?" I was quiet because I couldn't believe she had noticed that, and she was choosing to address it while we were on full display for everyone. She then said that I either speak from the heart or she walks out. I literally couldn't get any words out, and she kept her promise and walked back down the aisle, much to all of our friends and family's confusion. She's been ghosting me these past few days, which is atypical for her and honestly giving me panic attacks. Most people agree that calling off a marriage because of AI vows was an overreaction, and that maybe it was a sign that our relationship would have issues. But a few female friends have said that they would have done the same. I'm hurt and honestly just needed it to help make the day more special. Is it worth fixing? 10 hours later, within the same post, OP edited and said, "Okay, I screwed up. I didn't check this post for a while because I wanted more points of view instead of just getting torn to shreds. But I understand why the situation is worse than I thought it was. I've been trying to contact my partner's family to see if I can talk to her again, but apparently she's been staying out of state with her sister. I'm going to tell her when she gets back what I heard here and that I understand. I'm also going to write new vows without AI and bring her favorite flowers and snacks. I still want her to know that I love her and know her. I will post an update when I can. Thank you all, even if some of the feedback could have been a tad more nicely put. Commenter said to OP, did you write this with AI too, bud? Come on, man. You should have been talking from the heart. OP says no. I could write this just fine. For the vows, it was different because I wanted them to be perfect, and there was just a lot I wanted to say that I ended up not being able to say anything. Lady Beatnik says, I don't know why so many men, sometimes women too, but it's usually men, have this belief in the back of their heads that they have this overruling right with their female partner, where they can just ignore or dismiss whatever she wants or prefers as long as he thinks he's got a better idea. Like she's a child and he's the parent who knows better. And now we have you. She explicitly told me multiple times she hates AI, but I felt it wasn't a big deal and that I needed it. So I used it anyway for my wedding vows. How can I show her she's overreacting? Then says, you don't, because she's not overreacting. You disrespected her majorly. You are not the victim here. You knew damn well what our reaction to you using AI would be and did it anyway because again, you thought you knew better and that she wouldn't find out anyway. Again, like she's a stupid child and you're her parent replacing a dead goldfish before she gets home from school. She deserves better than to marry a man who thinks of her that way. OP responded saying, I didn't realize she'd be able to tell right away. When I spoke of her disdain for AI, people are making it seem like it was a deal breaker that I simply ignored, which isn't the case. I didn't understand that it meant that much to her, and I definitely won't be making the same careless mistake again. Mr. Magic Man says, the thing is, this is a slippery slope. Once you get AI to do something as important as writing your wedding vows, you will even more easily be getting AI to write your text messages and creating apology messages when you get into arguments which you didn't even write, at which point she might as well be in a relationship with ChatGPT instead of you. OP says this is my first time using it to write text, and this whole situation scared me off it for good. If I can fix things, hopefully I won't fall into a slippery slope. Commenter says, didn't you have an officiant? Ours offered to help us both individually with vows if we wanted, i.e. even just bullet points of what we wanted to say, and then would help with wordsmithing. AI isn't even well written or genuine. This was a major, expensive, public and preventable incident you caused, and you are not looking for ways to own it and fix it, but for reasons why she's overreacting. OP says I actually thought getting help from the officiant would be less authentic. I guess I took an even worse route without realizing. Commenter says, I'm skeptical. Most people told you that this is an overreaction. Let's see the vows. Pied Goose replies saying, in vain I have struggled. It will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. I'm declaring myself thus. I'm fully aware that I will be going expressly against the wishes of my family, my friends, and I hardly need add my own better judgment. That's Pride and Prejudice right there. Named Human says, I, user, have strong feelings of you. Object of affection such as love, admiration, and other feelings that have expressed how I feel about you. Have I mentioned that the pro subscription is on offer right now and ChatGPT 5 is better in most ways? Just remember to delete the last part. It was the guy having the opportunity to save himself in that moment when she challenged him to speak from the heart and he just went completely silent. I mean, just anything. You're absolutely everything to me, and I wouldn't be the person I am today without you. Just speaking from in there. I'm genuinely wondering how OP is going to save this, because walking out of a wedding, I don't know how you come back from that really. Maybe you can, but for someone to walk away from the altar in front of everyone like that almost says that's over for me instantly. But over 2 months later, OP comes in with an update and says, I honestly wasn't planning to do an update after all because of how humiliating this entire situation has been. I didn't want to give more of a reason for people to rip me apart. But now that my story is posted on the popular YouTube channel, there probably won't be as much of an escape route for me. There's no doubt people we know will find it now. So I wanted to give the short update everyone has been itching to get. Apparently it was a Smosh reacted to this post as well. Oof. I did what I said previously and told her about the Reddit post and how the replies gave me her perspective and that I was sorry. She ended up getting even more angry with me about posting our business. even though our names weren't mentioned, and that she couldn't believe I needed online strangers to tell me why I was wrong. Also, apparently my mum was texting her about paying back all the wasted wedding money, and she used that against me too, which I don't think is fair. I have no control over what my family does. Snacks and flowers didn't do much. She refuses to give me another chance, even after offering going to couples counseling. So yeah, the wedding is never happening again. It's over. This has been the more horrendous time in my life. I've thought about giving up altogether. Meanwhile, she's posting about brunch with friends on her social media. Makes me wonder how she could move on that fast while I'm a wreck. People have accused me of not caring about her enough to write my own vows, yet the difference in our reactions to splitting up says the reverse. Hope you're all happy. Feel free to rub salt in the wound. I'm not coming back to this account. Kron says to the OP on this one, the difference in your reactions just says this was the final straw for her, while you were and still are fucking clueless. Weekly replies saying, he really doesn't get it. He decided that it wasn't worth his time or effort to write his own vows on his wedding day, so offload the subpar task to an AI assistant, and is now mad that his fiancée thinks he is a moron. He can say that he wanted them to be perfect all he wants, but the reality is that he couldn't be bothered to make them perfect on his own. Yet he wrote both the post and the update just fine. Regular says, coming here straight from the video is insane. By the way, OP, this line absolutely took me out. Snacks and flowers didn't do much. Then says, did you actually think it would? You're legitimately telling us that you, at 35 years old, actually thought you could solve the fact that she publicly left you at the altar in the middle of the ceremony by bringing her snacks and flowers. Honestly, that tells me everything I need to know. I bet you didn't even bring her preferred snacks and brought your own favorites. I had more to say here, but it's clear you don't have the reading comprehension required for it to matter, so why bother? I can see why you needed AI's help. Kill Foxtrot replies to that saying, asked AI what snacks and flowers women prefer most. Oof. Oh dearie me. Commenter says, dude, paying back all the wasted wedding money and I have no control over what my family does gives me all the information to say this. She dodged a bullet. Commenter replies saying this. This made me think that ex-fiancé was also dealing with nasty in-laws and fiancé not willing to stand up for her. I literally wrote the same thing about her dodging the bullet because of this on another site where this was posted. Oh dearie me, what an absolute mess, and OP just still doesn't get it, does he? I can't tell you how many times through the update I was going, oh no, oh bloody hell, or just a mate, what are you doing, which I'm going to have to edit out now. You know, the bringing flowers, blaming your mum's text like you're not responsible for your own family, even like the measuring of who cares more by the way she's reacting afterwards. She grieved that relationship when you stood there silent at the altar. You're grieving it now. She's already done. And it seems like he doesn't want to or is just incapable of doing the real work and just looking for, like some of the commenters were saying, excuses or reasons why he's not the problem here. And in the end, I really hope he does take a step back and look at things and maybe looks into therapy or something like that may be able to assist him going forward. Otherwise, you might just walk into another relationship with the same thing to happen again, which, you know, is a disaster for everyone really, isn't it? But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's have another story. Now, our next story comes from a throwaway account from the relationship advice subreddit and says, is my 24 female neighbor, 27 female, into me? Or is she just being friendly? How do I know if she's gay? Hi all, I can't believe I'm asking for advice from a bunch of strangers on the internet, but I don't really have anyone I can talk to about this. Sorry for the incoming essay, but I guess I need to give history. I bought my first house in September last year. It was an odd time, but everything just fell into place. It's quite a small village and everyone is really friendly. So I got to know my neighbors soon after moving in. Yes, socially distanced. Then I met my over-the-road neighbor. Let's call her L. I can't describe it, but it's the first time I've met someone and been lost for words, and my heart was racing and just thought, oh my god, you know? So, after I blushed my way through a welcome to the village type convo, We only saw each other for a wave and hello for a few days. To help kind of settle in, I had my dog B with me for the first few weeks. During this time, there was a massive increase in dog thefts in a nearby town. Not just from gardens, but literally wrestled away from people. If I'd been working, followed off and on since March, then I would have taken B back to mum's, but since I was home with her all day, she stayed. So the local police advised to not walk dogs alone, but we go out twice a day. A 10k run in the morning and a few miles walk in the evening. So obviously this scares me. But at the same time, she's honestly a pain in the ass and gets upset if she doesn't go for a run and needs to be tired out, so I'm kind of stuck at this point. Then along comes Elle. She knocked on the door and offered to come with us, and as she had seen B and me in the evenings, and everything kind of spiraled from there. I told her about my morning runs, but she didn't really bite, so I thought nothing of it. Then a few days later I bumped into her on a run, so she started joining us on those. A few months later, and we're spending more and more time together every day. It has now progressed to a run early morning, afternoon, coffee, dinner most evenings, and then the evening walk. It just seemed to happen without me really noticing. I didn't read into things that much, as I don't want to get my hopes up and ruin anything until another neighbor commented how much time we spend together and how it's nice to see you young gals getting on, and winked. She actually winked at me. I asked her what she meant, but she just laughed and said, "You know what I mean." So now I'm looking back on things and wondering if she could like me too. Here's some reasons why she might like me. I went running along the same route at the same time for nearly 2 weeks before I happened to run into her a few days after I told her this. I make her a coffee every afternoon. Elle is working from home and take it over in her favorite mug. She says I make good coffee, but I'm pretty sure I saw a fancy coffee machine the first time I went around. It's not there now. Elle carried on running and walking with me even after B went home. I told her she was going back to mum's and she said, "Well, I'll have to make another excuse to join you," and then we just carried on every day. She's tried really hard to bond with B. B is a very anxious dog and is scared of everyone except me and mum. Elle bought special treats to give her every day and has been so amazing with her and never tried to force anything. When I asked her, she said, "It's important to me that she likes me and is comfortable." B actually fell asleep between us on the sofa yesterday, and it just makes my heart skip a beat, guys. She invited me to the Zoom quiz she does with her friends every fortnight or so, and they were all like, "Oh, so this is who we've heard so much about." We realized we had become each other's support bubble. Elle asked if I was meeting anyone else, and I said no. She said she was glad she had me all to herself. We gave... The signs are there, guys. The signs are there. We gave each other quite personal Christmas presents. Like, it actually made me tear up, it meant so much to me. And she bought stuff for B. Reasons why she might not like me. All the reasons above, but she's just doing them because she's a fucking great person and we're friends. It might sound dumb, but I don't know. I need your help, guys. She is just the most incredible person I've ever met, and I really like her. But if she isn't gay or doesn't feel the same, I don't want to lose her friendship, as she has become such a huge part of my life. I genuinely have no experience with these kind of things, as I went to quite a strict all-girls school. So it's not like as if there was any relationships around me as a teen, and then I went to a very small uni, 8 of us on my course. I guess another reason that I've struggled with anxiety and depression for the past 10 years, as well as my weight and working on my self-confidence. But I can say that right now, I am the happiest and healthiest, both mentally and physically, I've ever been. I've only just really become comfortable with the fact that I'm gay, and I've never really told anyone in real life. But I don't think people would be too surprised, lol. I don't have any close friends as no one stuck around when I was really struggling with my mental health a few years ago, so I can't discuss this with anyone in real life. So, I need your advice. How do I find out if she is gay? And no, I don't have the confidence to just ask. What if she says no and I ruin everything? She has never mentioned anything about past relationships and I'm pretty tactless, so not sure how I can naturally slip that into a convo. Like, "Hey, tell me, have you ever had a girlfriend? Do you want one now, lol? And how can I make a move without really making a move so I don't ruin things?" I think OP's last line, I mean, the signs are all there that she's very much into you, but, you know, your last line saying, Hey, tell me, have you ever had a girlfriend? You don't have to go down that path. You can just say, have you had any relationships recently or anything like that? And just see what she says on the back of that. And just watch the twinkle in her eyes. Throwaway says, honestly, judging by what you wrote, I'm pretty sure she's into women and into you, especially considering your neighbors and her friend's reaction. I'm a WLW myself. I googled it and hopefully it's right. It says woman loving woman. And I know this type of scenario can be so nerve-wracking. If that's your style, maybe you could wear some pride accessories around her or mention some LGBTQ+ book, movie or show that you liked a lot. If it's not too obscure and she's into women, chances are she's seen, read or heard of it too, and gauge her reaction. Sorry if this isn't much help for you. Either way, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. Keep me updated. I love stories. Opie says, I like the suggestion. I feel like I could bring that into the conversation fairly naturally. Thanks. My worry then is if I still don't get a clear response, but I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Someone you know says, why didn't you ask if she has any special plans for Valentine's Day, and then kind of work your way in from there. It's a super light topic and an easy way to see if there's someone else or she suggests you two hang out. Opie says, we're in a countrywide lockdown, so I'm not sure what special plans she could have, to be honest, although I guess I could kind of joke about it. Opie says, okay guys, thank you so much for all your support and encouragement. You've given me a lot to think about. I think I'm going to casually slip some gay stuff into the conversation and see how she reacts. And bring up the neighbor's comment like some of you suggested, seeing as though the neighbor was heavily implying that we're gay. I'll do it tonight, otherwise I'll talk myself out of it again. I'll post an update to let you know what happens. Eek! If you never hear from me again, assume it went badly and I'm consoling myself with cake and watching Brokeback Mountain in floods of tears. Oh bloody hell, here we go. OP comes in with the update and says, Hi Reddit, yes it's me, the useless lesbian. First off, I want to thank you all for the support, encouragement and advice, and the undeserved awards. I never expected this many of you to take the time to comment, and that so many of you were rooting for us. So I had to plan to drop these gay hints into the convo like you guys suggested, but honestly, it all went out the window. Elle was kinda stressed Friday after a shitty work Zoom and just needed to vent, so it wasn't the right time to start anything. Though I guess I must have been a bit off thanks to spending all day overthinking things on here, as Elle turned up Saturday morning rambling about stressing me out and apologized for ruining dinner. Obviously I said, what are you talking about? You can talk to me about anything. And she said, anything? And I said, anything back. Ooh, cheeky. And guys, the tension was unreal. Staring at each other and hoping our lesbian mind-reading powers would kick in. Then there was some loud noise like a car backfiring or something, and the moment went. So I went to make coffee, and then Elle asked me why I was a bit quiet the night before. And I said something about overthinking stuff, and she said, what stuff? And I don't know you guys, I wasn't prepared to be put on the spot. My casual gay pop culture references were useless in this moment. My mind just went completely blank and I forgot every single thing you guys suggested and my heart was pounding and I just blurted out, you know I like you, right? Ooh. And then she kissed me. Kissed me. We straight up just snogged in the kitchen and it was fucking great. So you were right. You were all fucking right. She's gay, she likes me, and has been trying to drop hints for nearly 5 months. Ugh. We're both just too scared to make a move or ruin anything. Turns out she's been burned by straight girls in the past, so she's pretty wary and was hoping I'd straight up say I'm a lesbian so she'd know for sure. Maybe the I'm a lesbian wall hanging would have been a good idea after all. Her friends have been helping her drop hints. She showed me the group chat and guys, their suggestions ranged from flirting more to just turning up in a trench coat and nothing else. Lol. Also, the winking neighbor has been making comments to her as well. So shout out to her for trying to make this happen too. So no cake and cry watching Brokeback Mountain. Just 5 months of dating to catch up on. As for worrying about how our current schedule could be more date-like during lockdown, you were right. It's kind of irrelevant when you've essentially been dating the whole time. So we never made it to our morning run yesterday. In fact, we didn't leave the house at all. Ha! Thank you guys for giving me hope, even if all your suggestions completely disappeared in the moment. Maybe I'll show her the post later and ask if any of the suggestions would have worked. The Snappening says to this, and quoting Snogged in the kitchen, and says, "God damn, if that's not a British romance, I don't know what is." Congratulations. I know, right? I haven't heard the word snogged since I was a teenager. OP says, "Ha, saying made out just doesn't feel right to me." Pumpkin says, "Something tells me this neighbor is like the ultimate wing person, and they're reading this post chuckling like, ha, got him." OP says, "She'd be one of the first people we tell for sure." And OP added one more comment saying, "Update, the post is now locked. I can't believe so many people were interested in us. Thank you again for your support, comments, and messages." I absolutely loved that story, and it was really sweet. They'd basically been in a relationship for months without realizing it. Morning runs, the coffee, and her favorite mug. And it said something about the coffee machine disappearing. So did she purposely hide the coffee machine so she'd keep purposely bringing around the coffee for her? Which again, it's just so lovely. Dinner together, evening walks, Elle going that extra mile to build a relationship with an anxious dog at the same time, taking months to build up that trust. The cheeky neighbor coming in with a little wink here and there. And in those last moments in the update where, it was slowly spilling over there, wasn't it? When they were saying, "You can talk to me about anything," and she's like, "Anything?" And OP's like, "Anything." It was like, "Ooh, here it comes." And then all OP's plans fall to shit, and it just comes out with, "I like you, right?" That is just absolutely, I love it. And I think that is where we're going to end this one. But what do you guys make of this situation? Oh, go and wipe away these tears in a moment. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much. And don't forget, at the very end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there that you can click on, and it'll automatically scroll through all the videos for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.